We need to stick together. What else are sisters for?
Ellen, for you, was it immediately did you see the potential in Jean's novel when you were first presented with it?
Yeah, actually the woman in the store in Halifax who handed me the book said, I think this would make a good movie, you should read it. And you know what, she was right. And yeah, I felt it the moment I was reading it. I mean, I think it encompassed so many things that still, but particularly at that time, I was thinking about a lot in terms of my relationship to the environment, our societies, you know, what we're seeing happen, the changes in the world and the things to expect. And to be telling a story like that through the relationship between these two sisters and was, to me, seemed perfect way to tell that story. So, yeah.
And Patricia, when you were first presented with the idea, was it kind of a no-brainer?
It was a no-brainer, actually. I read it and immediately said, I'm in. You know, it just felt like something that's true to now. You know, like it's something that we're all thinking about. I liked two strong female leads. You know, there's not a lot of stories necessarily made like that, so that's important. That's got to get out there. Ellen, you know, she's not that good, but you know, but she's cute. So I thought that would work.
It was a job.
It was a job. It was you know, I have a house to pay for. No, it was a good one.
It really
yeah, and we both were really excited about a lot of the same things. Like, let's not say how the world fell apart. Let's just say it fell apart. You know, because we all know, and it's almost tedious to sort of say it again. We all know. So now, then what? And then to do a more character-based, psychological sort of version of the end of times, I thought was really cool.
Yeah, now we have such a strong focus on these two female leads, like you said, who are secluded in the forest in their home with no communication with the outside world. And I would assume the shoot was parallel to that intimacy and the isolation. I felt vulnerable watching the film, but what was it like for you, Ellen, to be on set?
You know, the feeling really was amazing. To get to work with someone that I love and trust as much as Patricia, and I think we do collaborate, you know, well, we communicate well, even if maybe we don't totally agree or what have you, you know, and that to me was always enjoyable. And to work with Evan Rachel Wood, who's someone I've always wanted to work with, who's a dear friend, and to be able to go to set every day and to be doing scenes with her was pretty extraordinary. So for me, the feeling was I woke up every day with a lot of gratitude and excitement, and we had very full-on days.
Oh
you
man,
know?
you guys worked. These guys worked, but they're both workers. They love it, and they love, you know, going to the edge and doing extreme stuff. And there's some very extreme moments in the movie. It's quite raw, and both of them. You're both, you know, I never, you know, had to. I hate it when directors say, and then I pulled this performance out of them. Come on. How you direct good actors is hire good actors, you know, or get hired by them in this case.
It really worked out. Now, very few relationships offer such extreme levels of hatred and love and friendship and rivalry of that exemplified between siblings, and so we see that with Nell and Eva. What kind of dynamic did you really want to conjure up between the two of these characters, Patricia?
Well, the novel, the whole first half of the novel we didn't use, and that kind of chronicled their story, and they were quite, they were really close as children, and then they each found their interests, one dance, the other one academics, and that they drifted apart, and the Nell character, Ellen's character especially, was really always trying to get closer. But on a broader sense, I don't know if it sounds obnoxious, but one was the head and the other one was the heart more, you know? Ellen's character was kind of more rational, save the gas, we need it for insurance, you know, do the kind of wise, cautious thing. And Eva was, but I need it, my heart is breaking, I need it, I need music, I need, you know, images of our family when we were all together and in love with each other. So that they're two sides of one brain in a way, and but they're sisters. I don't have a sister, so I don't know that, but I love my brothers, and I know that, you know, when push came to shove, man, we would just protect each other like crazy.
Now, there's definitely a fable quality to the film in that you get the message that, you know, we should learn to live with nature and appreciate it for what it was and not be so dependent on modern conveniences. Is this the society you'd like to see the world adapt to through this film?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I think clearly there's a disconnect with our society and the natural world, and we're seeing that and the consequences that come from that, of course. And I think for me, this film is an exploration of honestly what it even just means to be alive, you know, and what does that actually mean, and what are all these things that are elusive ultimately. All things that I love are my comforts, all the things that I absolutely depend on, potentially am addicted to, just like everyone else in terms of my phone. And you know, but the reality is we're seeing what that disconnect from nature's, you know, done to our planet and to us, you know. And I love that the film is, you know, what these sisters are doing is harnessing all this knowledge that exists, that's there in terms of foraging for food, growing your own food, creating your own tinctures. And I think for me, that's what's so exciting. You know, do I wish that stuff I was learning when I was young, like a little kid? Yeah. Because at moments it's a whole other language, you know, it's overwhelming, that knowledge. But I know I'm very interested in that, even though I have no skills to offer anyone whatsoever. Nor would I. Well, not quite. Nor would I be able to survive. But
I want her on my team come the end of the world.
those are the aspects of the film that excite me.
Yeah, especially if you can chop wood,
but you know,
like Ellen.
Last night in my neighborhood, the power went out, and I thought, it's not funny. And I was just sort of watching it more carefully than I would have otherwise. And there's a kind of peacefulness when the TV isn't calling because it can't work, and there's a kind of relaxation. And we just had candles out. Ellen actually stopped by, and we just, it was really gentle, wasn't it? And I thought, that's actually what we forget sometimes. They say, in fact, kids that have unstructured time in nature, that they can just play, or often do way better on intellectual tasks, because there's a kind of peace. We are wired to need nature, and not just have it like they do at the beginning of the movie as almost like a painting, as a backdrop to their lives, but they actually just to be in it.
I want to talk about the cinematography really quickly, because it's just poetic and just mesmerizing, really. What were you aiming for with the look of this film, Patricia?
Well, I worked with first, I don't know if you remember the first conversation, I said, this has to be kind of humble, the making of this movie. It can't be sexy, kind of, you know, watch me kind of shots. So we went for almost accidental beauty was the way I talked about it. It just had to look kind of, so a lot of handheld, but still really, really elegant. Worked with this young guy who had done one feature, I think, and a bunch of shorts. Daniel Grant.
He's amazing.
He's a poet. He is
so good.
a poet. We shot listed everything, and I went back over the shot list, and we storyboarded everything, and we pretty much stayed to it. We pretty much stuck, but you know, and then every once in a while would have an idea, and just, you know, we felt secure enough in the plan that we could veer off. And like, there's a moment of, I don't want to say because you're listening, because, of extreme violence, and just at the last moment decided to turn the camera on the side, and love it. Then we would do things like this. I would do eye blinks in front of the lens with my. So it's a lot of low tech ideas that.
Oh my gosh, well, it's really a piece of art. Thank you so much, and it was just so beautiful to watch.
Oh, thanks.
So thank you.